Woo! Good evening, my friends. It's good to see you guys. It's been a few days. Sorry about that. Um, like honestly, dude, like I ain't really even got shit to talk about. It's like we'll find something. We always do, right? We always do. Um, oh my gosh. Um, so thanks everyone for dropping all of your where you're watching from because I always find that fascinating. So I appreciate that. K Dubs uh posted the best one. Like I surprised more people didn't post that in the chat, what I'm looking at right there. Well done, sir. I'm assuming it's a sir. Liz88 gifted a membership. Thank you so much. And the Goodmans earlier gifted 5 memberships. Oh, you guys are amazing. All right. Now, yeah, man, it's really awesome to see like where all these people are from. I didn't see very many people uh that are from the Cobbles in foggy old London. Where are all the people from foggy old London from the Cobbles? Where are they? Oh my god. Rightio, chap. Rightio, chap. Oh my gosh. I live to annoy Cherry. Just so just so you guys know, if you guys ever wonder like what like I am perfectly comfortable with my purpose here on this planet. Um like most people aren't because they don't know their purpose. Okay? They don't know their purpose. But I have learned that my purpose on this planet is to irritate Cherry. And it's a good existence, dude. Like it's quite rewarding. I I have to say it's quite rewarding. Rightio, Cherry. Rightio. Oh my god. Cherry, I mean, that's not very nice. Come on, be nice. Amy's Positive Pathways. Thank you so much. Just had some edibles. I'm sure you will crack me up. Fun stuff, dude. Fun stuff. Okay. Because Cherry acts like English people don't talk like that. She talks like that all the time. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times Cherry's been like, rightio, I love cheese. Gouda. Gouda. And I'm like, whoa, calm down there. I didn't know that the English love to eat cheese on the cobbles. I had no idea. Oh, yeah. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on a response. I feel like it's coming like any second. Any second. I feel like that's going to happen. I feel like I'm going to get an email from a producer at Court TV and be like, listen, kid, you got the moxie we're looking for. Right? Totally. Yeah, yeah. I just look, I'm expecting some short little bald fucking, producer guy. You know, like basically like the physical embodiment that a black person would refer to as the devil, right? So like a little short, white, bald dude, and he's gonna fucking call me up and be like, "You got what we're looking for, kid. You, Julie Grant is yesterday's news." That's gonna happen, dude. That's gonna happen. Or they'll just fucking have Vinny do it. I'll get a call. Vinny will be like, Claire, Vinny Politan here. Vinny Politan, how we doing? I'm all right, Vinny. You don't have to yell at me though, dude. It's just the way I talk. I'm gonna need you to do the same thing. How'd you like to do that for Court TV in place of Julie Useless Grant? I'm gonna be like, I'm willing to negotiate. Dude, 3/4 of her salary, bro. 3/4 of her salary. Okay. I feel like that's peanuts because they can't be paying her that much. There's no way that they're paying her like a really good salary for spewing out all that shit that she does. Like just completely useless bullshit that she spews out on a constant basis on Court TV. I don't imagine that they pay a lot for that. And all I'm saying is 3/4 of that is a fucking steal, bro. It's a steal. I could watch my F-bombs, you know, I could completely cut them out. No F-bombs. No F-bombs. And I'll save the C word for when I talk about the DiPipi live on my channel. That's what I'll do. Okay? I'm willing to totally revamp. Okay? Totally revamp just for the sake of turning things around on Court TV. I want to single-handedly save Court TV. I mean, look at this quality fucking content right here, bro.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare
you? Criddles, thank you so much. Found you smoking on Defense Diaries talking Kara Reed, and I was like, that's my new guy. Better believe it. Better believe it. Dude, yeah. Bob and Allie are my homies, dude. I fucking love Defense Diaries, man. 10 Toes Down, member for 13 months, missed out Saturday. Will Shrooms at the fundraiser. Wow, okay. All right. Sounds like my kind of fundraiser. Fun stuff. I don't think I could ever do that though. Listen, dude, I like to do my psychedelics alone. Okay. It's where I feel safest. Think I'm gonna fucking jump in a fucking crowd of free care and Reed supporters, dude, on mushrooms? Fucking kind of crazy do you think I am, dude? Hell no. Imagine that shit. Dude, no way. How am I gonna handle that, dude? How am I gonna handle that? Just imagine just one scenario. Fucking Tom CPU comes up to me. What's up, bud? Hey, well, I'm not gonna be able to process that. I'm not gonna be able to handle it. Not in that condition. In any other condition, I'm like, Tom, sup, dude? Love the guy, right? But in that condition, I don't know if I could. I don't know. I feel like it would just hit way different. I feel like it would just hit way different. I could not do it. No fucking way. Hey, Will, what's up, bud? I'm glad you came to the party. No, yeah. Seriously though, like, yeah, I like to do that. I like to indulge once in a while in psychedelics, once in a while, very rarely, but I do like to do them alone. I like to like get a movie set up, ready to go. Usually a Marvel movie I've already seen. Usually, if I'm lucky, it's a Marvel movie I haven't seen. Usually got enough juice to last me 2 movies. And then that's what I do. I just kick it, hang out, maybe listen to a little music, you know. I've never seen Doctor Strangelove. I've never seen Doctor Strangelove. Yeah, I mean, I like to watch pretty unorthodox shit. I saw okay, I saw I remember this was years and years ago, like when it first came out on video, like when Blockbuster first picked it up. Uh it was Murder in the First with Christian Slater and Kevin Bacon. Yeah, me and a buddy, we dropped acid and we watched that movie and The Professional with Gary Oldman and that French dude. Um, that was fun, real fun, very, very bizarre, hard to keep up with. Now, the thing about Murder in the First, though, the problem with it was I kept laughing through the whole thing, and nothing about that movie's funny, but in that condition, it's hilarious. It's the funniest shit in the world. I mean, you see it for what it is. It's actors. You recognize Kevin Bacon, but Kevin Bacon is just all slumped over. And he's actually a really good performance, but it was a lot. I was laughing hysterically. I think the most memorable experience I had was The Matrix. Um, went and saw The Matrix uh opening night, right? Years had gone by. I hadn't done anything. I actually had cleaned up my act for a while there because like my stepdad had gotten sick. So like I had gone home and helped take care of him um and so I just kind of didn't mess around with anything for a few years. And then uh I drank beer, but um and then I was hanging out with some buddies and this was right so this was like 99, right? So this was like right when and this was Miami, right? And this was right when the uh the ecstasy explosion started happening. And one of my friends, one of my good friends, he's actually passed now. He's gone now. Um but he started selling X at the time. And then another friend of ours that we were hanging out with was also selling it. Like everyone was selling the stuff. I wasn't. I never sold any drugs. Like I couldn't do it. Like I started to overthink it every time. I was like, ah, fuck, if I got to do that, this is Miami. If I start doing that, then I got to get a gun. If I got to get a gun, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. So no, I have actually had semi good judgment over the years, believe it or not. Um, so like, um, so at the time also acid had just come out in the form of gel tabs. That had never been a thing before. It was always paper before that or just liquid or whatever. But this was in gel tab form. And then I was like, I was too scared to do X. I was like, nah, it took me a long time before I even tried it. Because I was like, I felt like even then, I felt like I was too old to be trying new drugs. I was just like, I've already, you know what I mean? Like to be experimenting with new stuff. So it took me forever to actually try it. But then I finally did. But that night, one of my friends who was selling X was also selling those gel tabs. And so we were all just kind of sitting around my apartment and like we were like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do tonight? We're all hanging out. And I was like, how about why don't we and then like my TV was on and the trailer for The Matrix came on. And I was like, how about we eat some of Mike's acid and then go see that? Right. So now, mind you, I had no idea what this movie was about. I had no clue whatsoever. I had no idea whatsoever. And we I remember it started to hit us a little bit. You started to kind of feel it while we were in line. Like I felt uncomfortable being in line. And then we went into this theater and it was packed. It was so packed. Now, when things like this happen in Miami, they happen in bursts. So apparently everyone in this theater was on gel tabs. I shit you not. because everyone was on the same page. It was the craziest thing in the world. It was easily the most strangest experience I've ever had on acid. Now imagine having to sit down and watch this movie without having any idea what this movie is about, right? You have no clue. Because I remember the trailers were coming on. The trailers looked cool. There was like Haunting of Hill House or something. That was a cool trailer. And it was the first time that Star Wars Episode 1 debuted. Like it was the first time the trailer for that came out, and everyone was like, and at the time everyone had laser pointers too. It was really annoying, and everyone had their laser pointers all over the screen, right? Like it's the first time I saw a trailer where everyone cheered. Like you saw the Lucasfilms thing and everyone cheered, and I was just like, and I was starting to trip hard. And I'll tell you, I've never been the same since after that experience, dude. Like after Morpheus explained the whole situation with the machines and used the battery analogy, I was like, that is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. Because at that moment you realize like this could be how would you know? How would you know? If this is a thing, if this is like all a program, how the fuck would you know? And it fucked me all up. And I had never been the same since. Yeah, absolutely insane shit. But I don't ever like once in a while I'll mess with mushrooms because I know how to handle them. I know exactly what to expect. I'm more comfortable with my mental and emotional state now than I've ever been in my life. So once in a while, I like to just kind of indulge and sit around, watch movies, trip, you know. I don't know why I just went on a tangent. I had nothing to talk about, but what we are going to go over, I am actually going to go over some of the videos because I hadn't watched these videos yet. The videos of Karen Reed's defense team going into 34 Fairview and checking that out. And I see that like Paula has been very active. She's been very fun. We're gonna go over some of the Twitter stuff because there's some fun stuff that's been happening on Twitter. But this is courtesy of Young Jerks. He's got this. I think Nick Rocco provided him with this. Nick Rocco now has a Facebook, or not a Facebook, a Twitter. So give Young Jerks video a like here. I just dropped the link here, but we're gonna go over this real quick because I want to see. I haven't even watched these yet. Because like there's been no priority to do it. If I'm being honest, like there's been no priority for me to do it just because the trial's fucking over. You know, I'm still sore over the fact that they didn't address the shoe, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you.
And once you get done with
and not that Dina, thank you so much.
Some flooring. Yep. Or is that? Is it? Let me look. No, there's no flooring. All right, so basically every single part of this part of the basement, of this part of the house, the flooring's been taken up. I mean, all of this, it's just hodgepodge, right? It just looks like it was thrown down. So the actual floor was ripped up, and this is just a hodgepodge of plywood. All the way through here. Yep. Yeah, the entire floor was ripped out. And then this goes into a storage area.
Dude, I'm really fucking stoked because AJ is going to be on Turtle Boys on Saturday. And I'm just glad, man. I'm glad that somebody's going to go on there. Because the fact is that, you know, we can't sit here. It seems weird because I understand that if like there's priorities or whatever, priorities to make appearances, and you've already made commitments, and there's a certain amount of money involved and that sort of thing. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, so I'll get a little I'll get a little personal on my end here, right? So my whole thing is just like, there's stuff that like took place, conversations and things, just fun, cool shit. But I'm very careful because I really don't know for sure like what's really okay to share and what isn't. You know? So like my whole thing is like, when I was there, and every time I've gone there, right? Like they treated me like they adored me, you know? Unbelievable. Like, hospitality is not even like, it's an understatement of how I was treated by everyone there. And it's amazing. What's up, Nick Rocco? Good to see you, buddy. And so like, you know, I want to like reach out to him, you know. But the thing is like, realistically, what we have to understand is like this, and I don't think it's the case. Like, I don't feel like they were shitty. Like, I don't feel like they were putting on an act by like being cool with me and shit. You know what I mean? They were like, like we definitely vibed. It was great. I don't feel like it was like that, because like part of me is like, well, you know, like you realize that you hated lawyers before this case, and then because of this case, they became like your, like, lawyers have become your heroes, right? And so but it's foolish to think that like they stopped being lawyers though because they became my heroes. You know what I mean? Like, lawyers embellish things. Lawyers they know how to make you feel comfortable. They, you know, but they had nothing to gain by doing that, and I have no reason to feel like it was ingenuine. You know, I just feel like what's going on is they have really, really important priorities. Um, you know, and you know, we're talking about a team of lawyers who just took on the government under circumstances that are unprecedented, just unheard of. Like, we all watch this, you know. So there's going to be channels that, you know, there's going to be opportunities for these attorneys who just won one of the most important cases of all time. You have to look at it like that. Make no mistake that these attorneys just won one of the most important cases in American history, in my opinion. We're talking about a woman's rights who were violated in every way possible, and it was out in the open. The judge was doing it in front of the world. You know what I mean? And they still relied on the system. They still played by the rules, and they still won. What they did was they rejuvenated the hope and faith that people had in the American justice system. That is no understatement, and that is nothing to be taken lightly. So there's going to be people that they're going to want to talk to the world about, because there are going to be opportunities for them that are going to be awarded to them for this great American achievement that they've all taken part in. So whatever media outlet that they have commitments to, and the glare, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So if they were to come here or contact me, because I saw Nick Rocco's comment, I did send a message to each David Yannetti and Bob Alessi, each one. But I won't send them anymore. They will they will respond to me if they want to respond to me, and if they can respond to me, if and I will not take it personally if they do not. But truth be told, what I'm really hoping to do is just have a moment of celebration with them, because I feel like I experienced some of this with them. I saw what they, I saw them just constantly their heads in the game and come out with this achievement, So that's all I was really hoping for. I'm not a journalist. I don't conduct interviews. I just wanted to do something kind of laid back and where they feel like they could let their hair down a little bit and have a fun conversation. So that's what I'm hoping for. But the fact is that in the reality of things, these are right now the pinnacle of what an American attorney should be proud of achieving. I mean, it's amazing what they just did. It's amazing under the circumstances, if you look at what every effort to cut Karen Reed's defense's legs out from under her, every effort was taken. Hank Brennan has conducted one of the most unethical prosecutions that I've ever I never thought, I never imagined could ever take place in 2025, in my lifetime, no less. In my entire lifetime, to see somebody just do what he did as blatantly as he did, with Judge Beverly Cannoni showing this extreme bias towards him, was really, really fucked up. And it sucks, dude. And honestly, I really want to talk to AJ, because there's a story about the shoe. There's a reason. One of the reasons why I was so hell-bent on the shoe. But I don't know if I can talk about it. And I want to know if I can talk about it. But the thing is it's not going to hit right unless he tells you about it. And I don't know if he ever will. You know what I mean? So, but there is a story about the shoe. And I want to be able to tell it. But I don't think I can. Or at least I don't know if I can.
Area it looked like this area did not have flooring in it to begin with, but all this is looks to be relatively recent plywood. Are you getting enough light to actually get this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That goddamn shoe is right.
Maybe, maybe not. The point is, it's never been sampled.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, will that door open? Paul, come take a look at this.
I mean, this is wild, dude.
This is a bulkhead door. Look at that.
Like, this just gives you this. I had no idea this was happening. And this just gives you just some insight as to what these attorneys and what Karen Reed was doing behind the scenes during all of this time. This is what your donations were going towards. were these efforts. This is not cheap. They're inside 34 Fairview looking around. Like it's under new ownership. Buzzy for Truth, thank you so much. Hello, Mr. Glare. Karen Reed is free. Absolutely. I don't know when this video is from the first. Nick Rocco would know. I know he was in here earlier. I wonder if he's still in here. But
directly into the backyard. Yeah. Get an establishing shot from over there, and I'll get out of the picture.
As we're using a while.
thank you, Nick.
Okay. I don't think we need to go up and pull the bulkhead up, but
Okay. You gotta get rid of it. Okay.
okay. One finger. I mean, there's nothing to open this. Wow. Look at that.
Wow, this shit changes everything, bro.
Directly to the basement. This is. I'm gonna pace it off. Let's say we come up from here.
Okay.
This is the door that we opened earlier. Right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 paces. And look where it goes.
It's a straight shot.
You open this door?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
The only thing
Right there.
I'm
Fucking
about
flagpole.
How deep was the snow? Then again, it was
It was a
fluffy.
dusting.
Yeah.
It was a dusting.
It's fucking wild, bro. Lola, the good dog, or thank you. Shoegate and their controversial BFFs, the socks. Listen, I don't give a fuck about the socks, bro. I want to know about the goddamn shoe. It's all I care about.
Into the glare of the color walls I showcase.
Okay.
I mean, it's, what, 6 inches? This door opens on 6 inches of
Plus,
snow.
They're pretty motivated. They're pretty strong. They're pretty smart.
And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. "24 paces."
Yeah. I like the theory.
And look at the cover.
Yeah.
Look at the cover. The street you can't. The only time you're staying is the last 10 feet.
You know, it's like you said. If everybody's even the party, nobody sees them.
It's because he wasn't out there yet.
Yeah.
He wasn't out there.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say earlier about AJ going on Turtle Boys is it just seems right, you know? Like it just seems right. Like Turtle Boy went to jail for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just love to see him get an exclusive with someone in that camp, you know? Buzzy for Truth, thank you so much. Will you know me? That house is around the corner. He was in the house. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Straight shot. I have no idea. Straight shot right from the basement to the back of this door, right there. Like a crow flies.
See, this is the thing,
Is that
folks.
what shot you need? Okay. All right. I think that's what
What was on that cement?
This is the thing. Is got every reason to believe that this case is still open. The federal investigation is still open. So maybe that's why. Who knows? Yeah, and I love that Turtle Boy's been making his rounds. I like to see Turtle Boy. I like to see that he's because I think him and AJ are going to have a great conversation. I think that one's going to be one for the books. Because, like, when you think about it, I mean, you look at the interviews that he's had already in the past, man, have been fucking phenomenal. Even the interview with Ronnie was fucking phenomenal, and Ronnie sucks, you know. But that was amazing. Hannah, thank you so much. Will, funny story, coworker was being dense today, i.e., not using common sense, and I said, "Don't pull a DiPipi, please." He looked confused, so I sent him a link to your channel and gave him the afternoon off. Nice, I love it. Thank you so much. Hey, shout out to homie who better be watching. Maybe you'll learn something. Don't be a DiPipi. DiPipi. We'll kick you to the cobbles. Dude. Oh yeah. So I have to like I gotta like shill the merch, I guess. Or else Cherry starts fucking complaining. This is just what she does. I say, all right, I'm gonna shill the merch, and then she goes, right-heo, chap. Oh my god. So Cherry, drop the link for the merch, man. So yeah, man, people have been giving some positive feedback. They like it. They say it's soft. Auntie Deb got his merch. Jimmy says the material soft, fits just right. TB will get his registration. Look, bro. It's nice if you buy the merch. But you know, I mean, not everybody is cut out to not everybody is cut out to be Glare Institute of Law and Stuff alumni. Okay? Not everybody. So it's okay. Nobody's going to be upset with you. Jen loves her Glare sweatshirt. See that shit? Yeah, so we got this new distributor, and now yeah, I'm happy with this distributor because the other distributor sucks. Teespring sucks. So oh, Diane, thank you for the Venmo. I appreciate it. What did that say? Would love to meet you in Boston. Enjoyed watching you throughout 2 crazy trials. You are hello. Okay. I'm sorry I won't load the rest of the comment, Diane, but thank you. Appreciate it. Starting a petition to get Vinny on here. I didn't invite Vinny on here, but Vinny's invited on here. I'm just saying, be putting that shit out on my behalf. Okay? Putting shit out on my behalf. I ain't saying nothing about no inviting Vinny on here, but Vinny's totally invited though. I like Vinny. Look, bro. All I'm going to say on that shit is I feel like Turtle Boy is justified in his feelings and opinions about the whole Esty thing. But you know, I'm not gonna join in trashing her because she didn't do anything to me. She's always very nice to me, actually. Very kind, very generous. Don't give a fuck where the reasons came from. I set up boundaries so that I didn't have to worry about those reasons. Give a fuck about those reasons. So she was always nice. And that way, you know, I don't have to say shit about it. Yes, thank you, Donna Roche. There's a fine line between truth and mentally unwell. You can't fix unwell. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, and what about Koberger, huh? Everybody's in such a twist over fucking Koberger making a plea deal. Like, man, I gotta say, I think it's a good thing. I think it's fine. I mean, what's the problem? The guy's never gonna fucking see the light of day again. Good. You know? I mean, let's just face it, dude. Anybody who's upset about this, most of you who are upset about it are upset because you're not going to have the entertainment of a trial. I mean, you're not going to get to sit there and hate this guy for a few more months and just sit there and, ooh, look at him just sit there all cold. Ooh, people love that shit. People love that shit. The fact is, man, this is better for the families. I don't give a shit what Steve Gonsalves says because Steve Gonsalves, man, you know, I feel bad that he's lost, you know, but he's not the only loved one in that group of people who lost, man. Like there was 4 victims, you know, and they all have different loved ones, dude. And he's the only one making this huge stink about it. Like, how about read the room, you know? Like, this dude is always so loud. I mean, we're not keeping score, you know? I mean, the bottom line here is, you know, like, what about the other families? Like, shouldn't all the families be coming together to find some sort of medium ground on how to deal with it, you know? And if not, whatever. All I'm saying is it leaves Steve Gonsalves open to some criticism. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, you know. I'm saying that it's like, you know, this is a good thing for some other people too. Some other people might just want the closure. This might just be the closure that they needed, and they don't need the reliving of all these horrible facts in a trial, in a messy ass trial, you know. And what if the defense manages to put up enough doubt? What if that happens? Can you imagine the moment Koberger told his lawyer, "I did it"? I wouldn't want to sit next to him after that. Jeez, yeah, man. Hannah, thank you so much. After Vinny highlighted DiPipi getting booed, I'm sending him your merch. Your reaction was epic. That shit was funny, dude. I mean, look, bro. I'll never forget that. That's one of my favorite moments from the trial, dude. One of my favorite moments from the trial. Let's just go to that.
John DiPietro, take a look and listen to what happened when he exited the courthouse today after the verdict.
This shit is fucking great.
This shit hits so different knowing that fucking Vinny Politan has him sitting right next to him and puts his ass on the spot in front of the whole court TV world that he fucking sucks.
This guy sucks, dude.
Oh, Vinny, bro. Vinny, dude. I take back any negative thing I've ever said about you, bro.
Facts.
You're my homie, dude. I love you, bro. This is fucking beautiful. Just look at Vinny. Watch. Vinny sets it up.
Show, believing in the prosecution's case here. There's been an advocate. I don't know if the folks at home saw it. I'm going to show it to them. Okay. John DiPipi.
Hey, homie, listen. Just a heads up, okay? Don't shit your drawers or anything, bro. But I'm going to show them. I'm going to show the world that you're a fucking hated asshole. No one likes you. Okay. You're cool with that, right? Okay.
That's totally what Vinny just did. It's totally what Vinny just did.
Oh my fucking god, dude. And Nikki Haircut says that he thought that he was gonna show the taillight video. This dickhead fucking actually smashed somebody's fucking taillight with his car and he fucking left him a note. He was gonna leave. He was gonna fucking leave. I want to see the dash cam footage. Whoever the fuck, if that person is watching right now, I want to see that dash cam footage, bro.
I never went over that.
I want to see that shit.
Petro's been an advocate. You've seen him on our show, believing in the prosecution's case here. The crowd outside not believing in the prosecution case, but they all know John DiPietro. Take a look and listen to what happened when he exited the courthouse today after the verdict. So, John, what was that moment like? First of all, what was that moment like for you when you've got hundreds and hundreds of people gathered out?
Yeah, that was way funnier at the moment for sure. That was so
Dude,
good,
look at Nick. Nick's just looking at him like,
bro. Nick,
homie, that shit just happened, bro.
dude, Nick's reaction to that whole thing is the funniest shit in the world, dude. The whole time, like Nick is just sitting there going, just looking at him, and then going like this. Like you just look like shit to the whole world, bro. Like shit. You look like shit to the whole world. And like Nikki haircuts couldn't look cooler. It's the funniest thing in the world. Like, what a moment. Like, think about that. Think about what that must have been like for Nick. Think about what that must have been like for Nick Rocco. Like, all this time eating this guy's shit on court TV, listening to him make no sense at all, and then just countering it with common sense, facts of the case, and just being like, you know, just listening to this guy and having to sit next to this fucking guy like he's some kind of intellectual equal. Like, that's how it's set up on court TV. And it sucks because, like, we all know Nick is way smarter, right? But the rest of the world doesn't know it, you know? So you just got to sit there and look at Nick have to fucking deal with this shit, like, all through this trial. And then this moment, like, this moment must have been fucking beautiful for him, dude. Like, right after this acquittal, right? Like, right after it, DiPipi gets booed after backing his fucking car into somebody's fucking truck and then wanting to leave it, and then leaves this note with a fucking website that doesn't even work. And then gets booed just for being him. And then he gets to sit there. It comes full circle where he gets to sit there. The only thing that would have made it better is if Plevin was sitting there too, and Plevin got booed. That would have been even better. That was the only thing that could have made that better. And it comes full circle Nikki Haircuts gets to sit right there next to John DiPipi, outside of the courthouse, next to Vinny Politan, and watch John DiPipi just be desgraciado, dude. Like, this fucking desgraciado, dude. Te jodiste. Like, you're done. No credibility at all. Vinny's like this, looking at the camera. It's so funny. It is so good. That must have been so fulfilling for Nick Rocco. Nick's looking at him like, like you realize that just happened, right? The whole fucking world just saw that shit, dude. You just got humiliated twice in an afternoon, dude. Like, technically 3 times. Technically 3 times. Oh my God. So good.
Out here.
Thousands.
Yeah. Did you? What did you feel? What was going through your mind?
I was just thinking.
Now, I didn't even bother with that because, like, right there, DiPipi goes into all I could be thinking about was the O'Keefes. The O'Keefes. Shut the fuck up, dude. You don't give a shit about the O'Keefes. I cannot express this enough. If you don't have enough common sense to see that all of the evidence points towards dirty cops and John O'Keefe having gone into that house and something happening to him in there, and all the evidence points away from Karen Reed, if you don't have enough common sense, you don't give a shit about John O'Keefe. I'm telling you right now, you don't give a shit about John O'Keefe. I'm calling bullshit. You don't give a fuck about justice for John O'Keefe. Because here we are. Okay? Here we are. We're still talking about it. We're not done. We're not done. The way to do this, continue to follow the Brian Walsh case. Continue to follow the Turtle Boy case. Continue to support Turtle Boy. Yeah, like, I mean, this dude has like no... Like, he's totally his own worst enemy. Laurie Marie, member for 10 months. Thank you. Needed a dose of Glarus humor and POV tonight. Thanks. Right on. Yeah, I honestly, man, you guys could tell by my fucking need to tell a acid watching the Matrix story earlier. I just wanted to hang out with you guys. But we're gonna still find other stuff to go over and talk about. And I'm gonna open the phone lines too. So Dirty Higgins will, yes. I mean, come on. Like, like you gotta be fucking blind, dude. You gotta be fucking blind. And you gotta be stupid. Like, there's just no denying this anymore. Like, at this point, dude, if I'm Aiden, I'm gonna be arrogant as fuck. If I'm Aiden, I'm gonna be fucking cocky and arrogant as fuck. And the reason for that is because everything that he said turned out to be right. See, the trolls sit there and like, oh my God, no, what he did was he confused the jury and he harassed what? He didn't harass anybody. What did Aiden do? Did he make the McAlberts sit on the grand jury and lie? Did he make them sit in 2 different trials and lie? Did he make them do that? Did he intimidate them into doing that? Because Everything Turtle Boy discovered turned out to be valid. Everything that he put out there to the public turned out to have receipts, turned out to be even some of it used to help exonerate Karen Reed. And it's all because this dude would not give up. He was relentless. Because the only way that we wouldn't know the things that we know is if had he tucked his tail between his legs and said, you know what? No, man, I mean, I think it's them, but no. The only way that this would have gotten as much attention as it has gotten is because this dude showed up to lacrosse games. This dude showed up knocking on people's doors. This dude showed up with rolling rallies of crowds of people holding liars accountable for telling lies. Which is exactly what the First Amendment is designed to protect. Everything that Aiden did is exactly what the First Amendment was designed to protect. Like it or not. I started to make a point last time I was live and I didn't. I got distracted. And I talk about like how, I mean, because I've talked about this shit forever. And my position has never changed. I would trash Bullhorn Betty and JLR because Bullhorn Betty and JLR, what they are they are people who claim to do what Turtle Boy does. They just don't. They hide behind the First Amendment to actually harass people. Right? And here's the thing is, I've gone over them. I've gone over their content where they're doing this shit, and technically they're not breaking the law. I hadn't actually seen them break the law. But the way that I would look at it is all I'm doing is exercising my First Amendment rights by criticizing it and saying how much it sucks what they're doing. But the fact is had they gotten arrested, I would have spoke up on their behalf and said that I don't agree with them being arrested. And I've always taken that position. I have always taken that position when I talked about Bullhorn Betty or JLR. Anybody who's watched me for a long time knows this. We do not get to cherry pick when the First Amendment applies. I mean, yes, these people were obnoxious and they were doing things for the wrong reasons and they didn't give a shit about justice and they don't give a fuck about finding missing kids and they did nothing to actually find missing kids. As a matter of fact, what they did was muddy waters in investigations to find missing kids. That is what JLR has done consistently. That is what Bullhorn Betty has done consistently. And that's why I would always trash them. But what they were doing was not illegal. Now here, what you have is Turtle Boy, who is exercising his First Amendment rights, but doing so in a manner under circumstances that almost seem like a duty. Now, he was not duty bound to do any of this. Make no mistake about that. That's not what I'm saying. But the fact is it comes off almost like there's a duty to it, because how else was Karen Reed going to get the support that she was going to get? Because I didn't see any other avenues in which that took place. The only avenue that I saw was Turtle Boy taking a very radical approach to gonzo journalism within his constitutional rights against a Massachusetts law that should not exist because it's unconstitutional, but nevertheless within his constitutional rights. That's what Turtle Boy did. And when everyone is just keeping quiet, shutting up, and then they have an entire local government covering up for them, cleaning up their mess for them. How else is the truth going to get out there unless somebody is sticking a phone camera in their face, unless they're asking them tough questions, unless they're doing investigative journalism, getting their FOIAing reports, they're getting all kinds of information that nobody else is making any effort to get, and then he's writing about it and putting it out there. That is called investigative journalism, and that is what has kept America informed, and that is what has empowered people over their government since the beginning of time. There's nothing more American. And this is why, like them or not, if you are an American patriot, you need to be supporting them. I'll tell you what, a lot of people I like out there that wouldn't sit there for 2 months in jail because they had every intention of fighting something so corrupt. A lot of people I like that wouldn't be willing to do that. Know what I mean? Right. I mean, and that's the thing is no, who else would have had the tenacity to do that? Who else would have had the tenacity, the inclination, the tenacity, and the resilience and the intelligence? All of these things are, that make up the perfect storm that is Turtle Boy. All of these things. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to see personalities like Howie Carr support him openly, and it's refreshing. Because I mean, I just don't, I can't help but see it. Oh, for the t-shirt. No, yeah, I mean, you already bought the t-shirt. Thank you. Appreciate it. I just don't see it's a weird perspective, in my opinion. Let's not forget he does it with humor too. Right, exactly. See, it's a weird perspective because like people hate this guy because he's so direct, and because he doesn't mince his words, and because he uses language that many would find offensive. But see, that's what I like. I like that. See, I know what I get. You know what I mean? See, but when somebody is like that, when somebody is that comfortable with their own personality and their own vocabulary, if they're just that comfortable, which I like to take pride in feeling that way myself, like the luxury in that is that you what you see is what you get. You don't have to worry about, like it's on you. It's on you. Like what you have, it's put in front of you, and it awards you the luxury of being able to set healthy boundaries that are good for everyone. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and wonder where somebody's angle's coming from. Oh, thank you, Buzzing for Truth. I appreciate it. Like, you don't have to do that. Like he always lets you know where you're coming from. Donna, thank you so much. Even if they're mentally unwell, does not absolve them. Right. Agreed. Not sure we're talking about the same thing, but yeah. So, you know, when I see people get mad at him for being like this, I'm like, well, what? I don't understand. Because, like, I feel a lot easier around somebody like that than somebody who is constantly just being nice because that's what they're supposed to do. Like the kind of people who you argue with on Twitter and then they take cheap jabs at you, but they go, have a nice day. You know what I mean? Like, see, I don't like that shit. You know, I'd rather you just be like, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You know? Because that's what you mean. When you say have a nice day, and then your justification for being all fake like that is like, it costs nothing to be kind. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. That's not kind. That's being fake. It's patronizing and it's insulting. And you know it is. You know it's just, you know it's more insulting than just telling somebody to go fuck themselves. You know it is. Turtle, you know, thank you again, Will. You're the coolest, my brother. Thank you, man. Dude, I have a crazy person in my chat. I'm going to go ahead and get you the fuck out of here. Because you're Hannah, thank you so much. Preach. Can't stand the passive aggressive types. Exactly. Be aggressive. Don't be passive aggressive with me. Extend me the courtesy, please, of being directly aggressive. I will always extend that courtesy with you. I assure you. I promise. You know what I'm saying? So, like, these people who get so mad at him, I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, he's already laid everything out for you, like, and he's done nothing to you. So what's your problem? You know? Like, to me, it's a win. To me, I'm like, oh, this is an easy one. I don't have to worry. Like, if something happens to me, it's on me. You know? Anybody who just lays out there, yeah. Because that's it. Like, chances are, if I'm a dick to you, it's because you fucking had that shit coming. You know what I mean? Chances are. You know? I like that luxury. I like that luxury of always being direct so that, you know, like when I have to be shitty, you know, I like to feel like I've already kind of exhausted every other option. So that you have no option, you don't get to play victim when it happens. That's how I like it. Rhonda Hinckley, thank you so much. Hey, Will, you and Turtle Boy rock. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't like having to fucking guess where people are coming from, bro. You know? I don't want the labor pains. I just want to have the baby. You know what I mean? I don't need all that shit. Twitter's funny, dude. Okay. So now they're saying, let's say Laura Alessi, Bob's daughter, awesome person. She posted, let's say there's a David Yannetti and Bob Alessi podcast. What would you call it? So it sounds like that might be something that they might be doing in the works. And that's probably why they're only sticking to LawTube channels, because they're trying to create a certain audience. They're trying to build a certain type of audience, which is a very, very smart thing to do. Bro. Now, what would possess anyone to go out in public like this as a celebrity is beyond me. That shit is fucking crazy, dude. Yeah. I don't understand. Like did she walk into a salon and like a spa, like a beauty spa, and go, okay, you guys know I'm Kathy Griffin, right? I want to look like Pennywise got set on fire and survived third-degree burns. Can you do that? Can you do that for me? That's what I want to look like, because I'm making a comeback. Can you imagine? I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine that she did. Is that Chucky? Jesus, dude. Why the fuck would you go out in public looking like that, dude? That is so crazy. That is not. Like, I can't stop staring. You know what I mean? Like, it's I can't stop scratching my head over what I'm looking at. Like, what is the judgment behind this? What is the train of thought that took place? Yeah. Did she go blind and then get really drunk, and then someone played a prank on her while she was asleep, and then she woke up looking like that? I don't understand. That is really, really bizarre. Yeah, people are going on a blocking rampage right now. I love this shit, dude. And then you got this Twisted Tragedies idiot. She's really stupid. So let's watch this real quick. Let's see. Because this is very strange to me. So Krusty Panties writes, the sexual deviancy and general hatred of victims and women in the Free Karen Reed movement is unbelievable. Take a look at Jess Machado, who I hear fabricated a working relationship with the Daily Caller to get into Karen's trial and creep on the jurors and make witnesses feel generally uncomfortable. Can't imagine why.
Hey, Somerset residents. My name is Jessica Machado, and I'm a candidate for your K through 8 school committee.
Opinion, I've thought about it.
I love Jess Machado, bro.
Teachers make way too much money, and there are a bunch of greedy fucks who probably should be working year round, and if they don't, then they should take a significant pay cut.
You want a committee member that has a secret agenda, that looks for adulation and attention, that fears speaking up for what is right, then I am clearly not the candidate for you.
I think it's appropriate for you to pick up that phone, call that person on a holiday, and
see, that's why I love Jess Machado right there, expressing exactly what I was just talking about. What you see is what you get. Listen, man, you don't vote for me if you want somebody who's going to be full of shit. You know what I'm saying? I love that. She took that approach. She was like, if I'm going to win the people, I'm going to win them by being real. I'm still trying to figure out where the sexual deviancy comes in here.
confront them. Yes, it's okay to call that person a cunt in front of their family. Yes, it's fine, because here's the thing. You're just being passionate and you're being real.
I've been working with Mike at Fall River Reporter, and he had been talking about me coming over. And I said, you know, I think maybe I could leave radio for a little while. And I said things like sex, drugs, gambling, sports betting, stripping. I love strip clubs. I talked about it on the last show. I think it needs to be a little bit more normalized, and that is to have a beverage.
Oh yeah. So wait, hanging out at strip clubs is sexual deviancy? Is that what Krusty's trying to say? Dude, please. That's like the opposite.
Want to talk about. I love porn. I have my sites. I get down into a hole, and it really takes a lot to like kind of interest me. And I talked about this a lot of times. Like I'm in the really deep shit stage. It oozes sex. I have had tits in my face and in my mouth. One girl.
See, to me, I love this shit right here. See, I didn't know none of this, Jess. But listen, I love that shit. I will fucking straight up tell you that is the kind of woman that I respect above all women. The ones who are absolutely perfectly comfortable with their own sexuality, the ones who are comfortable with their bodies, with their needs and their wants, and they don't give a fuck about judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid she has fucking red, warm blood pumping through her fucking veins, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this. Watching porn is not sexual deviancy, bro. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, that's why it's a fucking like $100 billion a year industry, right? Get real, dude.
Girl, she did like daddy daughter like porn. They get like not raped, but it's like somewhat non-consensual. Whatever, fine. Is it called snuffing? Like where they like knock a girl out with chloroform. It's also like guys that like masturbate and like loud, like anal, amateur, lesbian, threesome, transgender, big tits, big dick, female orgasm, pie, and cartoons. So that's maybe we need an OnlyFans for that. I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. We need some residual income. We're gonna be selling feet pics on OnlyFans. Like I can make $50 for selling a pair of my underwear. Like some guy helped me with my car. And then
dude, listen. All I'm saying. If you're, well, feet have never been something. I hate feet. Little fun fact about me. I fucking hate feet. Okay. Like if we're in a relationship or if you're just hanging out and I catch your feet on my pillow, we're gonna have a problem. Like shit is gross. Like you're fucking walking around all over the goddamn floor and then you're gonna put your feet where I put my face and I open my mouth and sleep and drool and shit. No. That's not okay. I don't like feet at all. I think feet are gross, but it's a very, very common fetish. And I'm of the opinion that, like, if you're hurting for money and you got nice looking feet, fucking take pictures of them, put them out on the fucking internet. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, it's almost foolish not to. Now, if you have these deep beliefs, like you feel like you're disrespecting yourself some way, okay, fine, whatever. But I'm not of the opinion that you are disrespecting yourself by selling feet pics on fucking feet sites, if there are, or OnlyFans or whatever the fuck. Like, you could make a shit ton of money doing that. And it's like, what's the problem? It's your fucking feet, dude. You know what I mean?
And then I fucked him. I never saw him again.
Blowjobs turn me on.
My husband can't come if I'm giving him a blowjob. It's just this weird thing.
That doesn't matter to me. It's just the act of sucking.
So then why?
Bro, the sexual deviancy involved in the Karen Reed movement. I seriously doubt that Jess is like fucking flicking her bean watching fucking the trial, dude. Like, she's a professional journalist, bro. She's done nothing but report. Like, she's done nothing but report this shit perfectly professionally. Like professional women can't have sexual fetishes. They can't have kinks. Who the fuck says? Who the fuck says? Unreal. Like the fact that like that was supposed to be put out there to like cause her some sort of embarrassment is embarrassing for Krusty Panties. Like, first of all, nobody's touching Krusty Panties. That's, you know what I mean? Nobody is. There's a reason why they call her Krusty Panties. Nobody's touching her. So like it's, you know, I mean, she's never gonna understand. And yeah, well, I mean, in to play devil's advocate, that was just very publicly talking about this with a couple of other women, which in my opinion, that came off as just like uh a show about women's sexual health. That's I mean, an empowerment of women to embrace their sexualities. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of podcasts out there that do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The stigma that women are somehow whores or sluts or somehow not respectable because they do something other than they have desires to do something other than have sex missionary style. I mean, it's ridiculous. It makes sense. It makes no sense to to shame people, especially women. And especially dudes. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, if you're a dude, you're sitting there shaming this woman, but you sit there and if you watch porn all the time and you fantasize about doing these things with women and then shame them when they're willing to do them with you, makes no sense. Like, that's some higgy shit. That's higgy shit right there. Let's do this. All right, phone lines are open. Yeah, I mean, it just shows how desperate Krusty Panties and all those idiots are getting is like, you're going to try to use that to twist some narrative. Like, it's too late. Like, you lost. You get nothing. You lost. Like, it doesn't, nobody here is looking at Jess Machado like she's a sexual deviant. Nobody here is looking at that way. It's actually validating. I see a realist. And if a realist knew Karen Reed was innocent this whole time, very validating. It's very validating. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, she's done great work. She's done amazing work. She did go to bat. Feet fetish is a prelude to becoming a serial killer, in my honest opinion. KP needs a life. She always tearing people down. Karma is a mirror. Okay.
Call from Ron and Cheryl.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, hello. This is Ron and Cheryl calling from Southern California. And we're just having a little drink and watching your show. We think that you're hilarious and wanted to say, hey.
Right on. Well, thanks, Ron and Cheryl, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You got any thoughts of anything I've been talking about tonight?
Yes. I think that if somebody is okay with their own sexuality and their own body, you know what? Let them do whatever they want. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
People just like pick on something of somebody. You know what? She probably secretly likes it and just won't admit it. So she's got to pick on somebody that does it.
She just wishes that there was anybody to do anything with, you know? Like nobody thinks about her like that. Like she has the opposite effect on like anybody worth a shit. And so she hates the world for it.
Exactly. And you know, she can go screw herself, right? I mean, but anyhow, hi Liz 88. I got through. I'm gonna say goodbye because I see other people wanting to call, but I think you're hilarious. I will always watch you and keep it real, man.
I will always. Thank you, Ron and Cheryl.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. I guess the other callers gave up. Oh, they hung up.
Call from.
This is the captain.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
This is the captain.
The captain. What's up, the captain?
Not too much. I was gonna say, I think it's great how things worked out for Karen Reed, but we got a lot of important work left to do in Massachusetts. I think, I think Brian LTL has the right idea. We gotta get Morrissey from being reelected. That guy's just got to go.
Yeah, that's the most important thing right now is just to make sure that you get that guy out of office. And hopefully the feds are getting to the bottom of everything, because hopefully the corruption doesn't run so deep that it's just a whole meet the new boss kind of thing,
Well, I think that's the thing about Massachusetts. Like, it's got a history of rich in, political corruption with organized crime.
Yeah. That's what I'm told a lot. I'm told about this a lot.
And so, it's funny, right? Like, because I've been, we saw that whatever that was with Michael Proctor's, and he's crying and that whole nonsense. And I guess he's got some sort of like, public relations company working for him or whatever. At least that's what I read. And it's like, I'm not hearing anything about this. Not only do we have to stop Morrissey from being elected again, we got to stop him from being rehired again. I mean, I would like to think that common sense would prevail and it'd be like, this guy's damaged goods, but you never know how the lines of politics work, right?
Right.
And I mean, and as far as Yuri Buchanan goes, that guy, I'm surprised he isn't getting tossed out either. They got a clean house. And I think that's one of the things where, the Civil Service Commission or whatever, there needs to be more. They can't overturn anything. This is just, if it happens, it's going to be a tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, there'll be some indictments handed down, and actually, hopefully, it'll send a message, you know. But, realistically, I don't think there's, we could fight the corruption, but solving it is a whole nother conversation. Right now, I think the best thing is just to hope we can still get justice for John O'Keefe.
Agreed. And I think just shining a light on the corruption and not letting it,
Right.
rekindle. I think that's
at least
as much as we can do.
Right. At least that much of the corruption we can at least do something about, But, we'll see. We'll see. But hopefully, somebody will have to answer for John's untimely death. So,
yeah, that is a true tragedy in all this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, Captain, thanks for calling, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you. You have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye. The Captain.
Call from
John.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, how you doing? This is John.
What's up, John?
How you doing, buddy? I just had a couple questions for you. I got onto the program a little later, so I might have missed it. It might have been addressed already. But you seen all those videos there with the 34th Fairview?
Yeah, we just watched them.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm glad I have a second question then. So, okay, I apologize about that. I apologize to the viewers. I'm sorry about that. And, I'll rewind the stream and I'll check that out. So I'll save you the worry. The other question I had is, you're from Tennessee, correct?
Well, I live in Tennessee. Yeah.
All right. We're planning a trip. Well, we're trying to plan a trip to Nashville to see either, like a hockey game or the football game. You have any recommendations on where we should stay or that stuff?
I'm not too familiar with Nashville. I hung out there. I had one real good night there. And I knew, I was like, one thing I did was I was like, I'm not leaving Nashville until I ride a mechanical bull. And I did that. Cause I mean, downtown Nashville, you just look around, you'll find a bar that's got a mechanical bull. So we looked and found one, and I lasted all of like maybe 3 seconds. And yeah, but I
not an urban cowboy, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted that experience. Just to say that I rode a mechanical bull. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of bars and a lot of live music, lots of live music. So it's a lively town. But I don't have any. I only spent one night there, so I don't have any recommendations to give you. Like, oh, this place is great. You got to do this and you got to do that. Just we were bar hopping. I couldn't remember one of the names of the places that we ended up.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I have plenty of friends that've been there and done that. Football, hockey. I can. I thought about it. I was thinking a follow up question, but I kind of screwed that up, obviously. So, but no, I get you. So, I'll try to ride that bull when I get there.
Yeah, right on. Right on.
Like to see her on it. Flip her off.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, the guy, I mean, he knows nobody actually is good at it. So he starts off real slow, and then one good jerk is usually enough to just throw you the fuck off. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Place.
It is a lot harder than it looks. Yeah.
Well, you have a good night, Will. All right, you have a good 4th.
You too, John.
How you work.
Have a good one, buddy. I totally sounded like Matt McCabe, but I could tell it wasn't. What's going on, dude? Nan was just, dude, get the fuck, yeah. Thank you, Tom or Scott. Yeah, you fucking stupid shit. Come in here and say these things about Nan. She was just on with Mike, wasn't she?
Call from
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Arlene.
Arlene. How we doing, Arlene?
Horrible, actually.
I'm sorry to hear
I
that.
have a head cold. I can only hear out of one ear. I just hopped on because I've been napping on and off, but you had like some dead air time. I'm like, well, I'll dial. If he rings and answers, I'll say hello.
Well, right
and
on.
then ask you this one question. For the last 2 years, I've gotten used, especially the last year and a half, I've gotten used to having big things explode right before a nice big holiday weekend. Am I the only one in that boat right now thinking something's going to happen, or?
Thinking something's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I kind of got used to last minute filings at 4:50, or do you think it's just wishful thinking?
I would say that's wishful thinking, but you never know. You never know.
But sounds like you got another call, so take that one and enjoy your holiday and all the things.
All right. Well, thank you, Arlene. I hope you feel better.
Same. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Call from Liz.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
It's Liz 88. How are you?
What's up, Liz 88?
It's not much. I just have two things to say.
All
Okay. As far as Morrissey goes, I'm in Norfolk County, so I can vote him out. I'm gonna put a sign in my yard and try and get the word out to as many people as I can, because we got to get rid of him. But I don't think there'll be a problem. I really don't. People are really pissed off. And then the second thing, I think the people of Boston, which I don't live there anymore, should get a petition going to remove Diva from carrying a gun, because she's proven right on TV that she's angry, okay? And she's a liar. So the last thing you want is an angry, lying cop to pull you over, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's a stretch. That's a reach. Because I mean, I agree with you, and I think that she's dirty and she should be taken off the street simply because she's a fucking liar and she's dirty. But if that's the reason why, then yeah, you know what I mean? Then there should definitely be a petition to take her off the street. But because she was angry, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why people could be angry when they have to testify in a trial, so I don't think that would fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but being an officer, she should be able to control her anger.
Agreed, but I don't think it's enough to say it's enough to fire her because she
right. No, I don't think
because she had a bad attitude.
Fired.
Right.
Right, but she could be a meter maid or work at the desk.
Well, I don't want somebody that angry going around handing out tickets either.
Right. No, maybe I'm just being a little nasty because of the way she acted.
Well,
maybe I don't.
Agreed. I think I agree with you. She's she did act nasty, but I think that the reason, if people are going to petition to take her off the streets as a cop carrying a gun, it should be because she's unethical.
Right.
But the problem with that is that she was, if we believe she lied, we also believe that she lied under orders of the top brass at Boston Police Department. So
yeah, I hear you.
That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? That's just wishful thinking. She's never going to get. Her salary's tripled. She's living on Easy Street.
Right. And I bet that's not going to go over well. I mean, I know a couple of my cousins are Boston cops, and I know that I haven't talked to them, but I don't think that would go over well. Would you want to be working with someone you've been working for 5 years and they're making more than you?
No.
It's going to make people pissed. It's going to make cops pissed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah. Just saying, just a thought, but I'll let other people call in. But those are two things I wanted to say. I'm going to work hard to make sure Morrissey doesn't, and I think a lot of people are. I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain on that.
I think so.
But
too.
anyway, you have a great night, and I'm glad Cheryl got through. She really wanted to talk, so that was cool. But you have a good night, and thanks for all you do.
All right.
We really appreciate you here. Okay, Will.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Liz.
Bye-bye.
This is always so sweet. Yeah, man. And what are y'all gonna do when Jackson, Yannetti, Alessi defend somebody who you know is guilty as fuck and did some horrible shit? What are y'all gonna do when that happens? You know what I mean? Like, let's stay. I'm just checking because that's gonna happen. That's what they do.
Call from. Hey, Mary in Oregon.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, this is Mary from Oregon.
Hi, Mary from Oregon.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well.
Excellent.
So, I guess I'm on a delay. I've never called in before. It's pretty interesting. I just wanted to piggyback on that lady that was talking about Kelly Dever.
Yeah, Dever.
Dever, Dever, whatever. What I wanted to mention was I've never heard anybody mention it or talk about it, but that she said something when AJ was questioning her when she mentioned that she knew Sarah Levinson. Right before she said that, when he said, "Do you know anybody in this case?" And she said, "Do you mean people who've come on the stand so far?" And then she skipped right over to Sarah Levinson. So I want to know who else that she knows.
Right. And who does she know has taken the stand? Like, how would she know that? You know what I mean?
Well, my question was that she knows Sarah Levinson. So does that mean she knows Brian Albert Jr. and Sarah Nagel or Julie Nagel and all those other people too?
I mean, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably. She was a Canton cop before. So
yeah, and
I
she
mean,
went to high school with those kids, so she knew more people.
Yeah, it's foolish it's just plain naive and foolish to think that she's not associated some way, shape, or form with the Alberts. You know, Kevin Albert being part of the, you know, being a detective there, being buddies with Berkey being her boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah, it's naive and foolish to think that she's not connected to the Alberts in the same fucking capacity to some degree as what's her face, McLaughlin.
Yeah,
you know?
it's all nasty and dirty there. I'm glad I don't live there, but
Right.
yeah, that was just something I've thought about for a long time. And I thought, like, it just kind of got lost in all of that. Like, I thought that was pretty significant that she said, "Do you mean of the people who've taken the stand?" So it's like, so she knows a lot more, and I really hope that they get to the bottom of it and we have justice for John.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I still have hope for that. So we're just gonna keep.
I do too.
We're just gonna keep putting his name out there and keep going over everything that we can. I mean, we got to keep the heat on the McAlberts too. You know.
Absolutely, got to get rid of that dirty DA and all of oh my God, those state troopers. I can't. If that was in Oregon, they'd already be gone. I mean, I've known people that have already been gone for less, and it's like watching Melanie Little with the hearings the other day for the Brian Walsh. It just makes me so sad that people who should be going to prison aren't, and people who don't deserve to be being tried are being dragged through the mud.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get off here and let you get back to some more of your callers because it's beautiful sunny evening here in Oregon, and I just wanted to say thank you for what you do, and for you and Aiden and Jess and all of the people who say the quiet part out loud that needs to be said and we need to hear.
That's right. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a nice evening. Happy
too.
4th of July.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Call from Karen.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Karen,
Karen?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm just hanging out and listening to you, and I've never tried to call before.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you for all that you do, and I think you're a real class act with all the nonsense that was going on the last couple of days, and everything you said and being true to yourself. I just love your message.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's not
You're
to say,
welcome.
like people are justified in their feelings and their opinions as well. But I'm not justified in having those same opinions and feelings is my point.
And that's what I really like. And just on a little side note, the last 2 days, I'm like, where are you, Clara? Where you been? What's going on? So I was exceptionally happy tonight that you're on.
Right on. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Karen, for calling.
Do all you can do. You're very much appreciated.
Right on. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. No more callers. I'm just going to stare at you guys again until somebody calls. I'm losing the staring contest. I lost the staring contest. Somebody has to call to get me to stop. There we go.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, it's Pennsylvania Dave, buddy.
Pennsylvania Dave. What's up, buddy?
No, what's going on, man?
Not much. How are you?
Listen, I wanted to ask you a question. Who's the guy who did the interview with Proctor?
Oh, I don't know. Some jackass.
Do you know his name?
No.
Oh, all right. I forget his name. Turtle Boy mentioned him last night. They asked him what he thought about him. Turtle Boy said he's an asshole.
I mean, he's obviously an asshole. Anybody who gives this guy a fucking mic, you know what I mean? Like, we know he's not going to say shit that's worth a shit. So
yeah, he's the same guy who interviewed the McAlberts.
Yeah, fuck that guy, Matt Gutman.
And he didn't.
Oh yeah, Matt Gutless Gutman.
Matt Gutman. There you go. There you go. He didn't ask Proctor one hard question.
No.
How you gonna ask him? Did you plant evidence? You know he's gonna say no.
Yeah.
Why didn't he ask him?
None of that.
Why didn't he ask him? Why didn't he ask him? When you took the picture of the tail light and it was totally busted out, how come it didn't look like the tail light lit up at 5:07 and at 4:16 when you towed the car? What happened between the tow and the time you got possession of the car? Tell me what happened there.
Gutless.
I mean, what does he say to that? You show him a picture. Here's your tail light, and look, it's lit up in both of these pictures. What happened between here and there? Did the Chief and Higgins go in and bust it in a wildly long time and down in the Sallyport?
Wildly long time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's something you're just gonna have to ask Michael Proctor yourself there, Dave.
They need some journalists who ask some tougher questions to these people, because
there's no such thing anymore. There's no such thing anymore, man. Independent journalism is the only chance, and mainstream journalism is always going to try to discredit and destroy independent journalism because it's only threat. You know, like the only existing threat to mainstream media is independent media. It's literally the only threat. Because if it becomes a trend, if it becomes a thing, you know, people just get sick and tired of just not getting the information that they want, you know, and not getting the information that they're promised. They're gonna seek it elsewhere. That's just what's gonna happen.
Well, I would pay $1 million to watch you interview Michael Proctor. $1 million. I'd pay to see that.
Right on, bro. Well, let's see the mill, bro. Cough it up, and I'll make it happen.
I'm telling you right now, he wouldn't last 5 minutes with you. You know that, right?
He wouldn't. He'd jump off. He'd rage quit.
He would not last 5 minutes.
He wouldn't. Nope. But that's that's what makes a good interview. Or a good interview could keep him on and keep him talking. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, and me neither, because you got to hit him with the first 5 tough questions.
Yeah.
And he's going to have no answers for them.
No.
Or he'll bail, like you said, he'll bail. You think those questions were screened that Gutman asked them?
Before they
put him on camera?
Before I answer any more of these questions, I'm going to need some sort of token of effort towards my $1 million. So I'll take a down payment, a small down payment.
Listen, you got to wait for me to hit the Powerball, and I'll take care of you, brother.
All right, bro. All right, I'll take it.
Hey, well, good talking to you, buddy.
All right, you too, Dave. See you later, buddy.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Call from.
Oh my God. All right, I guess here we go again.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I had my computer open. This is Sharon. How are you, Clara?
I'm good, Sharon. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to call and ask if you have heard of the YouTuber I Don't Belong Here, and have you listened to any of her streams?
I've heard the name, but it doesn't ring a bell exactly. Like, I mean, the name rings a bell, but I can't picture any of it. Why?
Well, because I think she's really good. She has the psychological insight into these people. Jimmy talked about her one time on his stream, so I thought, well, Jimmy likes her. I'll try her.
Okay.
And she's a behavior therapist, a counselor. She's working on her doctorate in psychology. And I watched 2 of her streams that talked about.
So she's working on getting a doctorate at what comes to me naturally. Got it. Claire Institute of Law and stuff. Guess what the stuff is? Go ahead.
Is it the psychology of everything?
I mean, it falls under the category of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, anything could fall under the category of stuff.
Exactly.
Yes. But that's one of my main interests in following true crime, is what makes people tick.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, same here. I like to. I like to figure out where people are coming from. Like to try to understand what it gets down to.
Right. I would recommend she has a part 1 and part 2 on Judge Cannoni. I found that very interesting, and she made a lot of sense to her what she had to say about Judge Cannoni, and she was right on some of her views. She was talking about Cannoni's relationship with D.A. Morrissey, and she says they go way back to childhood.
They do.
And she said probably their parents knew each other and were friends. So I think that Samantha isn't aware that Beverly's mother worked with Alessi's mother in a school cafeteria.
Yeah. Also something Turtle Boy uncovered.
Exactly. Boy, where would we be? Where would Karen Reed be without Turtle Boy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we wouldn't know half of the things we know.
I know. Yeah, he's
We'd still be doubting the corruption. I would be. I would be.
yes.
I'd
Yes.
still be going, I don't know, man. That's just a stretch. Like, doesn't add up. It doesn't track. But now, seeing all the personal connections between people, like it tracks.
Yes. And Samantha talked about the community of Canton, how these little towns, were born from people, Irish Catholics leaving Boston and forming these little communities. And so people are tight. And each little community has their own culture and their own, I would say structure of who's who and who runs things and who doesn't. And it's really hard for someone who hasn't lived there for many years and grown up in that area. It's hard for them to understand and to fit in.
Yeah.
To be accepted. Like Karen wasn't accepted because she was from wherever Proctor said her accent was,
Yeah, I noticed there's parts of the country where, certain small areas are really tight knit, as far as part of a major city like Boston is. And then you have people who are Fall River, and you have people from Canyon, you have people from, you know what I mean? So like there's a lot of that in South Florida too. And there's a lot of that in New York, I would think too, as well. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, the communities are going to be kind of tight knit, especially the old school communities like that. They're not going to talk much, keep things between them. It just is the way it is. It's the nature of the beast.
Well, I was born and I'm 71. I turned 71 Sunday. And I was born in Houston, Texas. And I've lived here my entire life. And so I don't know what it's like to live in a small town. I've always lived in this big city, that keeps growing and growing. And now my son moved to a small town for college and he stayed there. And I can tell when I visit him how tight that small town is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And how
it is.
How religious.
Yeah, and there's some towns. Yeah, there's a lot of that here too, where I live. But I like it because people are just nicer, honestly.
Yeah.
But
well,
all right. Well, I'm going to take the next call. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a great evening.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, my name is Matela Quintero, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I would just want to say hi and thank you for everything you guys do about Karen Reed.
Okay. Salt Lake City, Utah. What was your name again? How do you say that?
Madela, Madela.
Madela. Okay, Madela.
Yes.
Salt Lake City.
Sí, Madela.
Oh, okay.
Sí. Yeah. Nosotros estamos con Karen Reed.
Sí. Claro que sí.
Sí, ¿verdad? El jefe de verdad.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much for everything.
Me alegro. It's my pleasure.
Oh, okay. It's a pleasure to meet you on the phone. I hope someday we can meet.
Okay. And Salt Lake City, are you Mormon? Are you part of the LDS?
No.
No,
I'm Catholic.
Get out of town.
I'm Catholic. Really? Yeah, I'm Catholic.
No me diga.
Sí. ¿Cómo ves?
No, I really appreciate you watching. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. No, thank you for everything, you guys.
All right.
You like Little Boy and everything. Thank you.
Right on.
Arriba Karen Reed and Claire.
Yes.
Sí, Claire. Viva Claire.
Viva Claire. All right. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night. Okay.
Bye-bye. Okay. All right, here we go.
Call from Abby.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Abby. I'm calling from New Mexico.
Hi, Abby from New Mexico.
I am just wondering, and maybe you've already covered this before, but if you had to pick one piece of evidence or witness testimony or something that really solidified Karen Reed's innocence for you, if it was the Google search or the group chats or defense witness, like what really really solidified that Karen Reed was innocent?
I don't know if there's one thing that solidified it. There were so many. I mean, like the thing is like every pretrial hearing, there was just one new piece of information after the other before you even got to trial. So it's just like, wow, what? But I mean, I'd say what solidified it was probably because, again, I feel like there's a lot of different things, but one thing was like, okay, I need more. I feel like this is fucked up, but I still need more. But if I take the injuries, and if I take John O'Keefe's injuries, and I take the 2:27 a.m. Google search, and I take and I take the Proctor's relationship with the McAlberts and how the investigation was conducted, and then I take Berkey just happening to find a piece of taillight in the road days later. All of those things, I would say, mostly played into solidifying my opinion that Karen Reed was innocent.
Okay.
But one thing I don't think I could do.
Right. Yeah. I think watching all of the recent interviews that Turtle Boy's been on, I think he's mentioned like the Google search is what initially triggered his attention. Like something was not right.
If I had to
that's kind of
say,
what snowballed.
Here, actually, let me correct myself. If there was one thing that solidified it, it'd be ARCA. Like it'd be the FBI investigation, ARCA being hired independently, and then coming to the findings that they did. That would be, if there was one thing to solidify it, that would have been it. As far as one thing.
And have they ever put together an actual? I know ARCA did somewhat of a reconstruction, and even Microdots has put together some 3D reconstructions of the timeline. But do you have, or have you ever even discussed your own theory about what happened to John O'Keefe when he got dropped off, especially now that all of this other video has been released, I guess, by the defense team recently?
I've speculated because I don't think that those videos really show anything. Just they show possibilities, but they don't show like definitively what happened. You know what I mean? So I'm real careful about irresponsible speculation. I don't like to speculate irresponsibly. I like to be careful because I don't have all of the facts. I don't know what happened, but I think the responsible theory to have based on the little information that we have is that Higgins was trying to impress Brian Albert. Brian Albert was saying, let's get him over to the house. You know, you can do whatever you got to do there. And then something happened where it got taken out of control. Something went out of control. I don't think that there was an intention to kill him. I think there was an intention.
Definitely, yeah. No premeditation,
right.
for sure.
I think Brian Albert saw an opportunity to entertain himself and get this guy who's willing to jump through hoops to impress him to fucking beat up on some guy that he didn't really give a fuck about. And probably even come out losing. I think that Brian Albert suckered Brian Higgins into this so that it would just merely to entertain himself,
Yeah, exactly.
have the kind of power over somebody who's dying to impress him as bad as he is. I think he just was trying to exploit that, and then something went wrong in the house.
I feel the same way. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much. I'm a huge fan, and we'll continue to keep watching and see what comes next, hopefully from the state or the feds. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for calling.
Call from something that
Karen.
solidified.
You're on. Speaker with.
Hi, Glenn. I just called a little bit ago, and I have this bidding war with my friend. So I'm wondering if you could just do a shout out to Chrissy in New Hampshire.
Okay. Hi, Chrissy in New Hampshire.
All right, that was because I'm like, just call him. Just call. And she's like, I can't. I don't know what to say. And I'm like, I'm going to try calling again.
All right. Well, thanks for calling again. And hi, Chrissy in New Hampshire.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Keep up the good job.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Call from
Catherine.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Catherine.
Catherine? Hi, Catherine.
I called you the other night.
Oh, did you? Well, right on.
Yeah, I was the one that thanked you for giving me that information.
Okay.
Well, I'm calling from Arizona.
All
and
right.
I am so happy for Karen Reed that she made it through everything, and I hope Turtle Boy makes it through everything too.
Yeah, he will. He will. But he needs our support. So we've got to keep
I wish I can give money, but
no, it's okay. Just, make sure people know about it. You know what I mean? That's all, I mean, if you can give, then you can give, but if you can't, there's other ways to show support. And I'm sure he appreciates it.
yeah, I watch him a lot too.
Right on.
And you. But I just wanted to take time and thank you again, and I hope you have a great evening.
All right. Thanks so much for calling. Appreciate it.
Have a great evening. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, folks. I think that's going to be it. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. My friends. Yeah, I didn't have much to talk about, but, I really missed you guys. I wanted to hang out with you. I'll probably go live again tomorrow. Now, listen, bro. I didn't push this and I didn't do it last week, but listen, Patreon members, this weekend it's going to happen. Time to be determined, but me and Mazza Media, we're doing Point Break. Okay? We're going to ruin Point Break for you. We just haven't settled on the time yet, but we're doing that. Okay? So yeah. Let me here, I'll do this real quick. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna subscribe to Patreon. Okay. And then when you subscribe to Patreon, you will wait, and I will drop a link in the chat, or I will post a link in the Patreon that will lead you to the broadcast where Mazza Media and I will be destroying Point Break, an American classic. It's going to be fun. So yeah, so for Patreon, for those of you who don't know, those of you asking me to explain, once a week for Patreon members only, I will stream. I will give a link, and we will all meet over there, and I will destroy your favorite movies. I've already done Top Gun and The Notebook. Point Break is next, and Point Break, Mazza Media will be my first guest in doing this, so I'm really excited. And yes, I'm gonna be so mean to Patrick Swayze. I'm gonna be so mean to Patrick Swayze. Totally. Yeah. I'm gonna destroy that whole movie. Movies. I love that movie. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie, but it's a bad movie. And me and Maz are gonna tell you why it's a bad movie. All through it. All the way through it. It's gonna be fun. But yeah. The movie destruction tour, exactly. I'm dropping that link one more time. And the link is also in the description, as always. But yeah, man. Patreon, I think like the cheapest tier is like $5. I'm not even sure how it works. Just give what you think I'm worth. Paying for every month, and I'll try to make it worth your while. Scooter 54, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, The Notebook backfired on me. I didn't like that one. I think Point Break's going to be way more fun because it's just more fun of a movie. Like, I literally hate The Notebook. So, like, that's the thing. It's like, it's more fun. It's kind of like a roast. Like, I don't want to roast somebody I don't like. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're roasting the movie. And Point Break is a movie we like, but let's just be honest. You know what I mean? Not Catherine Bigelow's best. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for hitting the like and the subscribe, the notification bell. If you're new subscribers, I hope you're enjoying the channel. And I do love you guys very much. Thank you guys for all the support. It's very, very helpful. It means the world to me. And yeah, Utah, get me too. I love it. So guys, I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon.